Mithaba, ngithe izolo, I'm reprogramming you. I'm reprogramming you, and it's something I'm gonna keep trying my best to do. Ukuze sizophila, not. It's a very important thing. So must reprogram each other ukuze the mindset can be proper. Ngoba uma umqondo ujemile, really there's no telling what's going to happen to you. You know. Sibonile veleke those who came before us, and ehlulekeni kwabo to deal with this problem of umqondo. Bashiya nathi singazi ukuthi uqala ngaphi. So we have the challenge now as the current generation. We need to fight this battle ukuthi umqondo uhleleke. Ungizwe kahle, not ukuthi inhlakaniphe vele. Hlakaniphile vele already. Inhlakaniphe nakho. It's not something that you don't have. You have too much of it, in fact. Black people are very brilliant. And some of the most brilliant people I know are black people. But you don't really associate it nabantu abamnyama because of this thing I'm going to talk about njengamanje. It's very important, this one, that you must learn, especially for the young ones who are coming up. Understand this. Your idea is only as worthful or useful as much as you can control its worth. So, if you do not control the worth of your idea, then it is not useful to you. I hope it's not too philosophical, this language. I try to simple it down, try to speak from a level, because they say always speak like you're speaking to children. Break it down to the lowest non-encoded, So your ideas are only as worth or useful to you, as much as you can control their worth. Because here's the thing, I'm saying this because you see a lot of black people coming up today, digging up history, trying to find themselves. It's a beautiful thing. I like it. Continue, it's a spark esasitshala kudala umlilo usiyavutha manje awuqhubeke ungqongqe. So let black people figure out who they are. Ningayeki qhubekani. But one of the things that stood out for me, and also the current issue with umfana where Please Call Me. One of the things that stood out for me is that over and over and over, you find that black people invent important things, useful things that we still use today. But you do not know that it was black people who gave their intellect in the development of the thing. In some cases, invented entirely. A traffic light system, robot, green robot, red robot, amber robot. Let's go to check who invented the thing and patented it. So you find this constant theme. Oh, black people inventing things. Oh, they never get credit for it. Oh, some other people always make a killing out of it. There are a few common factors here because when something is a pattern, you want to look at the common factors. You do an eigenvalue assessment, and then you do a Jordan reduction to solve the matrices and see what each one actually represents. So when you have all these matrices, when you have these matrices, you plug in your variables and you look at the things that stand out as factors. So you can apply your gas reduction techniques and see the values of x and x1 and x2 and b and c. Oh, this one is a factor of this one. This one is a factor of this one. I'm trying not to lose you, but I'm trying to explain this concept in a way uthi all of these things tend to be mathematical. It's just the mathematics is a higher level that cannot be really communicated. So always look at things in terms of equations and see where they lead. Because everything happens because of another. There is nothing that happens just in a vacuum. It's not true. There's nothing that happens just in a vacuum. Not on this planet, not amongst people. So you have to look for the common factors here. It's okay. If black people are inventing, they're not getting credit, somebody else is getting the credit. Huh. What's exactly going on here? And you discover a very damning factor that keeps repeating over and over and over. But it seems to me that as intelligent and very clever as black people are, they haven't figured out very basic things that everybody else has. I spoke about this other one long time ago, speak about it all the time. Nationhood. We have not figured out to close ranks around our identity as a people and say, hey, we call ourselves black people and this is what we are about. And if you want to try and do something with us, you're going to have to meet these requirements because this is how we move. And we have agreed as a black people, Luti, these are the things that are going to take us forward. You are coming from outside, saying gain in the. We have not established that. We have not established that nationhood, Luti. It cannot be that people from outside of our nation can have our best interest. But that's how we seem to think. Black people think that other people from other nations are going to have the best interest. It's nothing more silly than that one. It's very silly. But I'm just saying, Muti, it is imperative to look at things in terms of nationhood. And that's a main component of all our struggles, Muti. We have not reached a space where we identify ourselves as a nation. And that's critical. But for today, what I want to focus on is this second one, which having failed to recognize ourselves and identify ourselves as a nation, we then go further by not gatekeeping. open doors, open gates, open everything. We do not gatekeep anything. So I'm saying to you, in short, going forward, learn to gatekeep your ideas. Sesikhuluma nje ideas kuphela. Learn to gatekeep. And gatekeeping, don't let them tell you it's something bad or something like that. No, there's nothing bad about gatekeeping. It's only bad when it's us who's doing it. It's only bad when it's been done to us and we scream about it. But essentially, this is how gatekeeping works in the favor of a nation. You see, when they started a schooling system, they made sure to gatekeep from you. They made sure that you don't come into the school and learn how to read and write. They make it extremely difficult for you to obtain access into the schools. Why did they do that? They did that because they understood the reality. If you go on and be educated, then chances are they are going to lose your cheap labor, or you are going to refuse to go and work for them in the mines, in the kitchens, in the gardens. So gatekeep access to knowledge, our writing, so that these people, we can still maintain them in servitude. Just teach him enough to understand the instruction in Afrikaans and English, because they never bothered to learn isiZulu. It's much later on. When they came here, they would speak to you in their language until you learn to understand instruction. And they kept you out of the schools. So it creates a leverage, to say the least, whereby you can control your labor force and its labor price by making sure that it's not actualizing in terms of worth. It's not worth more than you are willing to pay for it. Also, you want to make it such that when you are plotting against these people, or thinking or talking to each other about what you need to do, they don't necessarily catch. Because if they do, then they might rebel against you. So omkhulu bethu nogogo bethu all the time, they didn't even know what the white people were talking about behind their backs, because there's a language issue. There's also gatekeeping in terms of learning, in reading and writing. So even when they were, figure out, okay, they can hear us when we speak, they didn't make you learn to write and read so that they can send you to another enemy over there. Uthola ukuthi incwadi ibhalwe ngesiDutch ukuthi abakunqume bakufake emgqonyeni, kodwa wazi, because you can't read this Dutch. They kept you away from being able to read. This is something that typically would happen during the colonization era and the slavery era. They will send you with your own death letter. It has so many utilities to, for people who are conquering, for people who are dominating, for people who are trying to get ahead. It has so many benefits to gatekeep. It also allowed them to formulate a sort of exclusivity amongst themselves. And to take it further, it also allowed them to develop communities the way they wanted to develop them in their own image, in a foreign country, in a foreign land, and develop them successfully. The same communities that you are dying to go live in. They built those things on gatekeeping. This is why they were pushing people out of certain areas, because it's not because they just wanted to grab land and they were just sick and tired of it. No, they just wanted to say, okay, we need to move these people away from here so that we can cordon off this area and gatekeep so that we can build a community of our own. The other things are secondary. The first thing is not always about wealth and all those things, but those things are over there. The primary thing is, let's put a gate between us and them. And gatekeeping is not saying what you are excluding. No. Gatekeeping means, oh, well, it's not really excluded. There's no fence, but there is a boom gate, and you have to come through the boom gate, and more for boom gate, you have to tell the security there who you are, who you come from, and what you came to do. Then you can enter. And when you enter, you're not welcome to stay. You come do what you came to do, and you're fusek. Yeah, so that's gatekeeping, essentially. And this is what everybody does. They gatekeep so much that even denominations of churches have that. Even the Catholic Church, which is the mother of all these other denominations, the Catholic Church has different orders within it. You have the Jesuits, you have Opus Dei, you have that last Pope, man, what was he? Franciscans. You have all these different clubs, all Catholic, but clubs, different clubs. And they gatekeep from each other. To enter into the Franciscan brotherhood, you have to perform these particular things. To enter into Opus Dei, you have to perform these particular things. To enter into the Jesuits order, you have to perform these particular things. It also goes further to what you have, this thing, the Freemasonry, to enter into the charters of Freemasonry and the degrees, you have to, show that you can do certain things. They formulated systems of gatekeeping to make sure that someone who is not necessarily supposed to be there is not there. Not because they hate them, just because what is important is keeping the integrity of this thing. It's to keeping this thing alive. Keeping this thing was very well machined to the highest point that we can take it without it serving other people. Because if you don't gatekeep Freemasonry, Masonic orders, if you don't gatekeep that, the people who are going to enter in there, they're obviously going to start wanting to have some of their own interest being enshrined in the whole thing. So you find that it's not easy to do that amongst enemies. You see, and this is why these different orders and societies don't work for black people entirely, because the people who designed them and are gatekeeping them, they built them in their own image from scratch. They built them in their own image. They made Freemasonry for themselves, for their own purposes, for their own interest. Ungangena wena muntu omnyama there, they will make sure ukuthi, okay, fine, you can enter, but you cannot live here and go and enhance our enemies. When you are happy ukuthi you are part of a brotherhood, or whatever big in amaringa amakhulu, and he's done fuck all for all of us. Just another glaring example of how abantu bamnyama seem to not get it. You are not going to do anything with the enemy that's going to benefit your people. It's never going to happen. You should be worried when they want to have you amongst them and open the gate for you. Then you should be very, very worried. Tab. So these systems of gatekeeping, these different clubs, they set these clubs to gatekeep. And, even in universities, I mean, I don't think they do this in locally. I wonder if they still do it. But back in the days, they would have different clubs as well. And these different clubs will reside in different residences, and they will have jackets, and they will have particular rituals that they perform. You hear about skull and bones and what. No alpha sci-fi lapha America ukhona. Even go Oxford, they still have them. These were systems that were designed to inculcate the idea of creating a cocoon, an incubator. And in this incubator, people who have like minds come together. People who have like interests come together and build a system that is going to further their agenda without the influence of the other people. And they don't have to hide. They can do it in plain sight, and you wouldn't even know what a Masonic lodge looks like. Most of you don't even know the Masonic lodge right next to you. Almost every town in this country has a Masonic lodge, but you don't know. You've never seen one. You don't even know what the hell is this man talking about. What is a Masonic lodge? You're thinking, even if you do think, you're thinking about Illuminatis and all those things. That's another story altogether in Dabasama Illuminati. We're just talking about this. Catholics, they don't even know what's in the Catholic Church. There are all these different clubs. There are even clubs that don't have what you call this in the Catholic Church. They have a diplomatic immunity everywhere on the planet. Visa free. They go into any country and walk out of any country. This is how powerful the church is. So people are not sleeping and daydreaming about getting the bag and getting the high education and go living lavish lives and enjoying the summers. There are other things that they are busy with. Nina Eningazas. They are part of clubs. They are part of groups that you do not know about. You look at life, from what you are able to see, what they can show you. And you're thinking, oh, wow, I would love to have a yacht one day. Whenever drive amalukuzana, amakunukuzekuzekuzeke, pagani. And then you are so excited, that kunukuzekuzeke Jesco, mangayithola one day. Injalo nje. Nama-G class. Nama-G class, and you think that's what is going on. But these people are part of things that you do not know. And you find the top 1% of the planet know each other from childhood. If not, they went to school together. They are part of the same clubs. There was an expose a couple of years back. We're talking about how it seems. I mean, part of the reason why Trump won the first term is that people are like, but How do we have skull and bones, skull and bones? Bill Clinton, skull and bones. George Bush, skull and bones. What's his name? Nixon, skull and bones. All the American presidents are part of this group from their alma mater. Aye. Let's try something different. And then they got Trump. But probably what they don't know is that maybe Trump is also friends with them from a long time ago. But I'm trying to illustrate here, Uti. Systems are built upon systems for the interest of a nation. And interest of a nation means interest of a particular race. South Africa is not a nation. South Africa is an electoral republic. There is no nationality that is South African. It is false to say a country like South Africa with so many diverse nations is a nation. Because nation, by definition, is not a plot of land or governance systems. It comes from the root of the word is nativity, which means origin. Natal, how people were born. Abazalwa ndawonye ngamanye amazwi. That's what a nation is. You are sitting there thinking in ifundiswa, but you don't even understand the meaning of things and the origin of the words. And then you project all this intelligence and wisdom, which is fine. We're not against you. But let's discuss. So, gatekeeping. Because even now, obtaining a degree is a form of gatekeeping. Okay. To enter into this section of the population or to be conferred, then you need to obtain this proof that you can complete this, you can complete that. For black people, you need to prove that you can pass. For white people, you have to prove that you are just white and you are well connected to us. You have influence. That's why you find that unabelungu abanama degree, abanama PhDs, babonile activities, they will testify with lokhuzana. And everyone is asking themselves, but no, lo mama wisdom kanje bayade funde. Bayazibona they don't have to be. For them, it's not a must. Ukuthi kumele bayaprove ukuthi bayapasa. It's not a must. You go there, you're a regurgitator for 4 years to prove that you can regurgitate successfully. Uphume, ushayenge cum laude, come back, uzosebenzela lo on your first day. Because, oh yes, one of the main reasons why I made this video is because it must stay in your mind. The people who have all the money in the world, the main people who have all the money, are the people who have never done any job in their whole life. People who have never worked their whole life are the people who have the money. Basetshenzelwa abanye abantu. That's what it is. And don't get it twisted. I misunderstand. I'm just trying to paint a picture of how the world is, for what it is. I'm just undressing it for you and demystifying it. So when I'm going to go and verify, check. But the expectation for you to enter into any club is obviously going to be high, because what they want is for you to give up more than you to come in. Because how does it help them ukuthi ungene wena kwi club umuntu omnyama, ngene phakathi kwabo and be part? You know, I remember my friend was telling me ukuthi they did approach him as well, bafuna ukuthi abe ilokhuzana, part of Masonic Lodge, especially because he's an engineer, and secondly because the family that was helping him and taking him through varsity is a white family that were Freemasons. And you know, he would bring me books when we started talking about this Freemasonry stuff. He'd bring books about Freemasonry, and he will show me some of the things that he found in that house. I'm like, yeah, isn't that some Freemasonry stuff? Yeah. And you know, you say, no, smart man, and you know, this old man, wada. But yeah, I converted him as much as I could. You know, think about it. What would you be serving being in a group of white people? Because as much as they can package it as a group of professionals, because they want the professionals. Even my uncle as well, they actually wanted him. Brilliant guy. They wanted him to join as well. They tried to recruit him. I don't know where they get the information, but I think mostly something happens about your, what do you call it, Gambe? Your result statements. So they will check your academic records. Probably you stick out and like, okay, maybe this one. It's very intricate, these things, because even in the lecture halls and the lecture theaters and the buildings, they are just they are plastered everywhere with arcane symbols of Freemasonry. I've said this before. We go look. Vetsi, Howard College, Cape Town, old campuses. I think roads as well. Those old campuses. Maybe Pitoli can be a standout because it was done by Amabunu. But most of the universities that were run and controlled by the British and the Jews, there's a lot of Freemasonry symbolism. Because they did it on the tiling of the floor. It's mosaic. But if you look out, there's an arrangement of symbols here. But yes, so you can't be happy and excited ugqoke inkunzi malanga ye-ring yokuba i-31st degree or 32nd degree of Freemasonry. You can't be excited by being part of a brotherhood where there are no brothers. And even if there are brothers there are a select few. And you know, it's interesting because there are different orders of this Freemasonry, because I want to also highlight this point, Uti. The top archbishops of this country are part also of a Freemasonry chapter. It's either they are in the Knights of Malta thing, or they are in the Scottish Rite. There are different dominions of denominations of Freemasonry as well. All of them. If you have an archbishop somewhere, they have their big ring. They are part of the Freemasonry club. Behind the closed doors, but right in front of you, they're just an archbishop of the church. Consequently, even the kings, who are the guardians of the protectorate states of the England, the British House, your Zulu protectorate, your Swati protectorate, your Sotho protectorate, banawo amaringa amakhulu. Because they are part of the brotherhood. And there are rituals that they must perform to prove they are worthy of being. And they select you. You don't select them. This is particularly why there seemingly is a very strong force behind this thing of uMisuzulu versus Umfuab. Because when you really think about it, in terms of capacity and abilities and expertise, and overall goodness, I would have picked Usimagat to sit on the throne. But why would anyone pick someone who's relatively a reckless young man? No, he's struggling. So they went and picked him, saying, okay, we want this one. Because he would fulfill the rights into the brotherhood. And then carry that particular agenda for the British Crown. And whatever the order is. So that's how deep gatekeeping goes. And that's how deeply gatekeeping controls your life as a person. Because Tina Lab Estlel Pansi, we are thinking in terms of pressures, the things that we feel every day. We're responding to a crisis over here, crisis over here. We are located here. We're not thinking about the future. We're not thinking about the past. We're not planning anything beyond the self. So sila ingakho ngithe eqaleni kinga yethu, we don't think in terms of nationhood. That's why we are stuck. So we don't think in terms of nationhood. We don't think broadly. We don't think ukuthi action le mangenza manje, how it's going to affect the generations down the line. So we are literally just like rats. We are responding to demand for what you call umbila and stuff. Because we just want to fill our stomachs, we want to drink water, we want to dress, we want to look nice, we want to drive fancy cars, we want to live in a posh house and call it a day. No, like take my kids to college, bahambe bayosebenza. Yeah, I achieve optimum. Then this is a top level. No thoughts about the legacy generations down the road. If we do this now, how is the nation going to function 10 years from now? How are they going to gain? How do we accumulate land constantly? What systems can you put in place to make sure massive the people who come after us are able to accumulate more and more land and retake the planet? It's not something that occurs to us. But laba bangena kulama brotherhoods, these are the things they preoccupy themselves with. And this is why you end up with presidents as America and coming from the same brotherhood. In their secret meetings there, they literally like, okay, when John Kerry was about deputy president, all of us here are going to be in charge. We're going to run this country. You see? And their families also, obviously, their families got involved because the thing about nationhood is that it allows a community that is interconnected. Whereas you get ingana spanban, bayazana bonke laba ezimndeni. Loya umndeni loyana owner steel industry. Loya mndeni u-own iy'nkomo namahashi, loya mndeni u-own lokhu nalokhuyana. This is why they create these things to gatekeep, so that they can pool together their resources. It's another component of gatekeeping why it's very important. It allows ease in terms of pooling resources. And it also allows better accountability and trust. This is why I can't go into a bank with a business idea and the first time get $1 million. It's not possible. It's not only because of my skin color, or they just think like, even that idea that banks think and treat black people differently, it comes from that fact. We are not part of the club. The people who designed banks, they didn't design them for us. They designed them for themselves. Yeah, much. So you are not going to get out of that by fighting and screaming and shouting and jumping in the street and dancing. It requires you to say, okay, hold on. These people are designing and creating banks for themselves to serve their purpose and their interest. Okay, that means, Uti, we also need to start our own banks and create our own things. So it's easy for them to do it because these families know each other and they trust each other because they all belong to the same nation and have the same agenda. It's very simple. It's not because that you are, of course it's because you are black, but it's not because you are black because you are black, but it's because you are black and you're not part of the community that this thing was designed for. That's why they give you higher interest rates. That's why they don't want you to have 24 months, 48 months bonds. For it's, you get a car for $500,000, you are supposed to pay it off in about 64, 74 months, 72 months. A house that's 500,000, they want you to pay over 20 years. They make the rules. Because what you do not know is that behind the bond agreement, there are sureties. And these sureties are worth value. They go into the bond market. The bank takes this bond and sells it to another bank, who is a asset management bank. They take these assets and they go and bet against them in the stock market. By the time you finish paying your bond over 20 years, imli yakho ka 500,000 isikhande more than 16 million in profits. And this is, I'm explaining these things when I shouldn't, but if you want to really understand what I'm talking about here in terms of the banking, and look at the 2008 housing crisis. They made a lot of documentaries about it. They wrote a lot of books about it. Lehman Brothers, the collapse of the housing market, what they were doing with the bonds. Go and look there. And even that word bond, it means to hold yourself to something, or to be held by something, to be bonded. Anyway, ukuthi nje kuzwakala kamnandi manje kusho ngesingisi nithi bond, ukuzibopha. There's another thing there. I've said this before. The secret of wisdom are double that which is. So always think about the words and their meaning. Ngibonge i-super chat lapho. Welcome to the Calvary. Welcome to the Calvary. So yes, gatekeeping, very key. Gatekeeping, and don't hate them, man. Don't hate black people, white people for creating things for themselves. It's what they are supposed to do. You can hate them for other things, but this one of creating things for themselves is what they are supposed to do. When you come into their neighborhoods and they look at you funny, like you're not supposed to be there, don't be upset, because it's what they are supposed to do. Why don't you go and build your own? Why are you spending 16 million in a mansion in Hyde Park when you can take 16 million and go build a freaking development emhlabeni kadog? Uthi dog, I need 5 hectares here, ngizofaka i-community la, ngizokhanda izindlu ezinhle ezifanayo, and my people can buy into this, sibe sey'ndlini ezi-right together, kube mnandi. Thatha 16 million lapha ufake bonding. And now white people are wondering, would know, where do these people get this money? Because this is another thing. There's a lot of envy. How? Why is Paul Mashitile having so much money to buy expensive houses in the communities that we built, Tina? And they're right in saying the communities they built. Go and build le makaya, so you are forced to develop in the makaya. Who spend time developing their things. You don't want to develop your own. You don't want to develop a sewage system. You don't want to develop a water system in Makai. You don't want to develop road networks with proper town planning in Makai. Electrification, waste management, bylaws, levy systems. Because you don't want to do it. Bizodoke bakhanda ama-mall lapha angaba khanda ama-developments laba, because abantu abamnyama love things that look shiny and very close to whiteness. Go and build it for them there. Fake i-boom gate lapha. Definitely going to do that when I have enough cash flow. Man, can't bear like that. Shape boom gate emkhizwaneni developments. Ngena ngesandla lapha mawungena. Ngena isandla to gated community. Le makhaya le. Kube nje ne-tar road yakhona kuphela. Ngibona ubhuqa ubona kodwa awuthawo. Nomgwaqo omuhle kanje in the middle of nowhere. What happened? Because manje, you know, it's best to create an example. No, we don't have to be so kusami sifuna ukusondela ebelungweni, silokhu seyikhuhla ngabo manje angathi lento uba mhlophe izosalela kuthina. Angeke isalele. Angeke. So they are correct in being upset about that. Why are people coming into it? Because they spend time and effort developing those things. And they keep them. You were only allowed there to come and clean. Come and do the tseges and fuck off. Now, why don't you build your own things? So yes, gatekeeping. So as I was saying, what I noticed, kule ngibonge super chat lapho advocate. Thank you so much. What I noticed kule ma patterns, the common denominator yesibili enkulu being gatekeeping. And this is how we fumble these things. Ishaya kanje. You know, I think about it a lot because I also I'm a person of ideas. So I always think about, okay, what if I start designing this thing? How do I protect it? How do I then go and create? Before you even, because before my thing was, okay, how do I start a car automotive manufacturing business? How do you build a car? Spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to build the car. Okay, what if we change the engine into something else? Spend a lot of time trying to figure out, learning different engines, how they work, how they manufacture, and those things. Try. And then you discover, There have been people who have been doing these things. And this happens to them, and this happens to them, and this happens to them. Like, okay. So abantu abamnyama bayayifambilisha lento ngokuthi because of our proximity and wanting to be near whites, ngalesikhathi une-brilliant idea, ugijima uzonqamuke ufuna ukuthi abelungu bayibone i-idea yakho ukuthi inkulu kangakanani. Granted, honestly speaking, because we don't have these brotherhoods that we built, we don't have these cocoons that we built, incubators, like-minded people, we don't do those things, Tina. Ingakho kuba ne-problem ukuthi you can't run and show your friends, because half the time the friends that you are going to show are not going to even know what the hell is this, and they'll be like, hey, kahle manje, what are you doing? And then you're gonna get deflated because you're dealing with people who do not think the same way that you do. You see, that's why it's important for them to have these clubs in university, so people who are like-minded can be in the same group. It's easy to understand what we are trying to do if we have a similar mindset and agenda. So see, because we don't exist in a proper groupings and gatekept communities, we have to run to other people to show them, Taibo, John, look, John, I invented this. Oh, John, that's brilliant, yes. Let me see. Let me go. I'm going to show it to my dad. He owns a development company somewhere. Let me go show it to my dad. I'll call you and you must come to the family on Sunday. I would jabul. Hey, abelungu bazoyithatha idea. All the while. So I'm idea. You have not bothered to go and take the thing up to intellectual property protection. You haven't taken your schematics and registered them to the patent office if you develop something new here. So literally the idea is yours, but it's not yours because there's nothing that you've done to protect this thing. At all. There is no proof of concept to someone who has verified, no, this person came with this idea on this day and show me the proof of it works and it now is filed under patent number. And you don't have an attorney at hand who's going to be handling your intellectual property because you exist. Remember, you exist in a bubble that is not people of like minds. So if you have like minds, you are definitely guaranteed to have a lawyer in your group. You can't win because now you get excited, you run. And now here's a caveat about this whole thing is that even the process of patenting and protecting intellectual property is so vague and obfuscated from you. You really need someone with a legal head to handle that for you. But you don't have someone like that in your group. You don't have a friend. And if you want one, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. And if you don't have the money to pay an attorney to handle this thing for you, that attorney will screw you. If they understand the idea and its potential. If they don't understand the idea and see its potential, they're going to chase you away instead of saying, oh, hey, listen, let me take this thing for you under the contract to go to. Once you start monetizing this thing, you will pay me back this amount per hour and help you. You know, you don't do that because yeah. So I tried to join into yakho. Ahambe sekuyise as he was claiming. Dad, how do we do this thing fast and get it on the market? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They figure it out. They put it in, they copy it. We are figure when on the Sunday dinner. Hey, come meet my friend Ujo. Ujablan. Hey, he's such a brilliant guy. Hey, Jack, come meet the guys. Yeah, have some braai meat and braai. Umnandi, delile. Yeah, no. And then later on, sinhleli kahle entafuleni usethi ubaba. Yeah, John tells me you're a brilliant guy. And he showed me a very important, interesting design that you've come up with. Do you have access to a factory and resources to develop this concept further and make money out of it? Is it potential? Oh no, Baba John, he has, I'm from a poor background. Okay. No. So I said to John, we can't let a good idea go to waste. So I sat and talked to my guys, talked to my banker, and he liked the idea. And he told me we need to make you an offer. Hey. Okay. What kind of offer? Oh no. If we are looking at this thing, it will probably make around 20 million. But it will take a lot of money to get there. To develop the concept and do the prototypes, and the testing and final development and packaging and marketing, it will probably cost startup 5 million. Do you have 5 million, Jablan? Hey. When you've just invented, you don't even know anything about these things that he's talking about. They all sound very right and correct because, this is a white man who owns a big company somewhere. Now we are stuck there. Okay. Yeah, 5 million will touch up. Yeah, so we thought, what if you sold us the idea for 1 million? And then we'll give you just a thank you 500,000 so you can go and buy yourself a nice car. Yeah, you go like, 1 million. These people are going to make 20 million. It's not a lot of man. Yes. A smart guy will be like, okay, I'm going to go and think about it. The smartest are going to think, I'm going to go think about it. And no, I'll come back on let's see each other tomorrow when I've thought about it. I need to talk to my wife. Yeah. And then Bella, you go and talk to your wife, and your wife is like, hey, remember Akrimon. Your wife is like, hey, but it's like sadly because of the deal. If this person wants to buy it for 1.5 million, yabona ukuthi sihlale endlini enjani. It's not finished like and then you know, because you do not have a bubble of friends who are like-minded where you can bounce ideas, or the only person you have is your wife who doesn't even know first thing about what you are trying to do with your life. No, do they care? But we're not going to talk about them. No, I just want to talk about this gatekeeping thing, how we fumble this thing. And I'm painting a scenario here because I know you like stories. Bona uthi we elekhaya nale moto umedem manje emsebenzini iklatshe siyabheda sengiyishintshile nenjini ngo5 wara ya yazi ngamthengile uJolion yazi umfazi wami abe happy nje naye hambi nje kahle emsebenzini okay so 500 million 500,000 ukuthi yakuphi, and then 500,000 will go into sprucing up the house. Lo omunye 500,000 will go towards maybe starting and trying to start a business nyana. And you are thinking now, no, but what if no, I can get more, Mos. maybe 2.5. Now you start negotiating before the negotiations because you are responding. We respond to things that are here, pressure points. We have all these pressure points. Zamanje. Instant gratification things. Isikhala. Uphendula. Uthi alala ungalaleki. Uthi yaphuza amaphilisi okulala. Uthi shaya isitifu. Sehle nje. Yeah, no. I'm going to try for 2.5 million. And then you go and try for 2.5 million. But Jabulani is a bit too much. Let me call my banker there to find out if this is okay. We can release this money to you, maybe over 2 installments. Ujabule. Afonele ibhenki ayisha ngathi ayifonela la. Hey, sibani. Yeah, Matthew. Okay. And then he comes back to you and is like, yeah, no, I think we can do that, John. Jonathan Jabulani, I think we can do that. 3 million ne. Uthi ungakafiki nasesangweni abayifake million loqala belo. Uthi 1 million. Ay. Uvela ugule. Hey. And now you start thinking about umngenandlini ekhaya uthi yazi namhlanje ingane zami mele zidla ama-triple decker awu-4 nga-1 nje. Zidlula naka-Woolworths ngibathengele amajuice amnandi nje ne-chicken. Sithenge nekhekhe leli rainbow cake leli. Yeah. Tonight we are going to celebrate. Dlule laphana ungene etolo. Wakakhola nokuthi le mali khona ngempela yani uyacheck i-app uthi ya iphakathi. Bike laphana uyathepha. No. Awuthi ngiphathele umngama ama-flowers la ish. But 800 hayi. Milo. That's it. You are done. You are finished. By the time you come on Friday to sign the agreement, because white people don't mess around. If you sell them something, if they buy something from you, they need paperwork. They don't play that game. You see, that's the difference between me and them, between us and them. Namandi, Nama Arabs, Bonk. Everybody understands the rules. Put something on paper, sign it, then we can talk about a sale. So you go on Friday. By the time you're going on Friday to sign over the papers, abakudraftele bona, cut it out completely from your invention. Benza sure futhi you can never claim that this invention is yours. It's written there. And you never demand any royalties. But when you never demand. They don't mess around. They don't. Uhambe uzosayina awusayifundi noyifunda lento le. We are in this high mode manje. Millionaire granted manje sekusele u950,000 because we'll talk ufaka ama-break kancane because you're still shopping around for ikhaya kamem entsha. No 50,000 esenudlile nje was just to celebrate. But take a break because we want to check ijolion leyo and you are still waiting for the other 1 million. Sign lama paper lawa. Shake the hands. Ushawa ama toast. You go out for lunch. Kumnandi kudelile. Hambe ekhaya. But time ungene egcekeni. I know. Once got yo. You make it. 1.9 million. Tatazele manje ungamsazi ukuthi ungena endlini uyacula manje you're excited, you're happy, nomama wasekhaya useyazi phela ukuthi kambe hey ubaba la ekhaya useyimillionaire kusazoba mnandi. Everyone is happy to see you at home, but you have just sold off an idea that you don't really know how much it's worth. You don't know. The person who sold the traffic lights system did not know ukuthi when he sold it for that amount, how much they are going to be making out of it, even to this day. Sike sezwa kakhulu ama-traffic light ukuthi-ke sekunama-traffic light manje o-1 million. Single traffic light sekuthonga ngama-million. South Africa njalo. But imagine ama-intersections akhona emhlabeni anama-traffic lights mangakanani. All that money, all that intellectual property sold just like that by a black man. Able. They made a killing way beyond the 2 million low Jablan. Way beyond the 20 million that they have secured generational wealth from an idea, one idea of a black man. The people who control the money have never worked a day in their lives. Case in point, go and check up in the what's his name? Bill Gates, and how he really made his money. He did not develop MS-DOS. He was not the one who did it. The person who worked a day and a night creating the code and that system and made it work sold that idea to him. The story says he sold it for $50,000. And where is Bill Gates now? Now imagine if that guy who had sold this idea to Bill Gates, imagine if he was a black guy, would he? Just how bad things would be. Because he would have just gotten the $50,000 and fucked off out of there. And never got anything in return. But if I remember correctly, the guy who sold Bill Gates also retained some royalties into the MS-DOS thing, and he did make a substantial amount out of it. You know, literally, it took care of him because he's a white person like him. So he ripped him off, it turns out, but didn't do it so badly. But anyway, this is the story of Bill Gates. You can do the research, but I'm just pointing you to when you are gatekeeping and you are gatekeeping properly, you are able to protect and shield each other. Even manchayana ngeskelem, you still have that unembeza would know, okay, but he's one of us, so we can't really do him like that, you know. But if it's someone who's coming from outside and coming into this thing, you're just gonna take him, give him the pants, and never bother if it's fair or if it isn't fair. This is the same thing that happened to the guy, Please Call Me. And that's what we're fumbling. Whenever black people invent anything, that's how they fumble. We don't protect our stuff. We don't gatekeep our stuff. Everything, including the music. I listen to jazz. I love my jazz. It is 40s, 60s, 50s, 70s. You know, bebop, you know, avant-garde and free jazz. I love my jazz. Love it. Black people were very brilliant at the time. But what did they do? They did not gatekeep jazz. Yeah, we invented jazz. Black people started jazz. Yeah, black people are geniuses. Did you protect the jazz? No. You didn't gatekeep. You did not make it difficult for other people to come in and participate. And when they came in to participate, they found a way to maximize and monetize and extract. And then you are crying, Uguti, they exploited you. When you are the one who just opens the door for anything to come. But when it comes to things that really matter, and then we are supposed to feel sorry, these ones are exploiting us, these ones are exploiting us. Of course they're exploiting us because we are allowing them. Don't protect your things. You're thinking everybody is your friend. Everybody who doesn't look like you is your friend. Hey, no one who doesn't look like you is your friend. Even if they are laughing and smiling with you and helping you out, they are waiting for an opportunity to exploit you. They are always, if you're a person that looks like me, looks like you, they are always looking for an opportunity to exploit you because that's what we have taught them. We have taught them this is a status quo of our interrelationship. And they know very well that black people are brilliant. They know. Black person can come up with anything. You just have to be around for that time. When he's dropping a jewel, you pick it up. Shy like and but no, we discovered a diamond. And then build generational wealth out of that. Because we don't look out for each other, because we don't have a mindset of nationhood. We don't create clubs. We don't gatekeep our knowledge. We don't gatekeep. You want to share everything with everyone. Yonke nje into eqhamukayo emhlabeni nina nifuna nje ukuyifundisa izinto ezingahlangene nazo. Qhamuka lesa silwane, you want to teach it. Qhamuka lesa silwane, you want to teach it. Qhamuka into ixhuga yafa, you want to save it. Hlanganaphi? Never. You want to interfere and intervene where nature is taking care of things. Nature is taking care of these ones. They didn't have breast milk proper. They couldn't really, their children were not surviving, sufficiently with their breast milk. Because funny enough, they are the only people who have breast milk better. And then what did black people do? They were breastfeeding them. They were breastfeeding their babies in Makishi. Which is very funny because they didn't like black people, but when it came to breastfeeding their children, baby baland. Isibindi ke nje sokuthi ungathatha ibele lezingane zakho uyoncelisa isitha. Ufana uncelisa inyoka ukuthi ikhule ibendala izokhula bese kushaya. And then we are supposed to feel sorry. Oh no, these ones were bad, these ones were bad. Of course they were bad, but you were worse because you permitted things. You allowed. You interfered with the nature. Abantu bafika banenze kabi. When nature says, oh, okay, I'm hearing your cries, my people, I'm dealing with them. No, they must not die. Oh, save the white people. Gijima, yobasave lapha. Gijima namabele la. Masithi ncelisana izingane zethu manje niyakhala. Nithi amabele azowa. Kodwa nisancelisa izingane zabelungu. No, you didn't care. Nkuxuza yebele ilenga ishonele ezantsi. The titty goes to the white child. It was a great thing. I'm not even kidding. You can do the research. This is what used to happen. In fact, they only stopped doing it because of these diseases that came in, or HIV kanje. It became a bit unsanitary. And they always think you're the one with the HIV, so don't breastfeed our children. Don't. And that's why they also invented the powder milk formula. It was invented for them because better. Namanje better, funny enough. But yes, so teen. It's very strange, that one. It's one of the strangest things. So, because you don't gatekeep, you don't protect your interest, your ideas, you keep bouncing them around where you can be shortchanged. Sila. That's why we are here. So, I'm giving you this thing to go and practice it and learn. Gatekeep. Gatekeep. You had no business playing your music to white people at the point where you were not in control of its reproduction, its distribution, its promotion, and management. You had no business going up and down namajuda who were screwing you over with the promise that they will sneak you into amabhaz la ukhona khona belungu. Because that's what used to happen. You go on the concerts, the Majuda in church, they are setting up, they are arranging, they are promoting, they are managing, the managers. They get all the money, and this is why brilliant players who did not own their masters, they died poor. Who did not control the distribution, they died poor. Most of them, they died filthy poor, like really bad. Because you allowed our music to be owned by a Majuda. I'm kidding you not. You go and look it up. It came to a point where even the studios where you used to record and do ama jam sessions were owned by them. Because you did not have the sense enough of, no, this is our juke joint stuff. So, we don't play this to entertain you. Sizokubona later. Nazi nabafundisa nokubafundisa. Oh, Bill Evans laba, they came out very filthy rich after that. I mean, he was already coming from a rich family. And then he took his band around the world and he made a killing. I'm just mentioning one. Dave Brubeck is one. Who's the other one? Pat Methy and what's that? Not Pete La Roca. What's the other white guy? Oh, I'm caught. But a couple of them. They themselves are not great players. Ooh, Bill Evans was a good player of the piano, sure. But when you put him against people like Oscar Peterson and Banning, great players of the piano, there's no way. There's no way. Patience Nkosi is saying, uma singayeka umona singabansundu kuzolunga kuni. Is it really umona? Or is it not realizing that we are a nation? Because I think it's a matter of priorities. We are so preoccupied with the individual That's our main focus. We don't look at the individual as part of the whole anymore as abantu abamnyama. This is why it's easy to become jealous, as you put it. Jealous is a symptom of people who don't have a nationhood. Because awufundanga ukuthi isithebe esokuthi sidle sonke, and everyone must participate. Adle asuthe, so that mase suthile zohamba ayositshalela umoba, ahamba ayosilusela, ahambe awenze ukuthi ayosakhela, yebo, because usuthi you shared because everyone had a particular role and service to the community. So you thought of nationhood. Abanye bahamba bayasilwela makuliwe. So we are all sharing. We can't allow him to go hungry, because if he goes hungry, then who's going to take care of that? We have umona because we don't think in terms of nationhood. Ilapho kakhulu. And ngeke suyeke ngoba it's a symptom. I-treatment ithi start thinking in terms of nationhood. Nizoba right. So those are two things, two solutions that I've been bringing forward in this particular thing. But primarily, is this one that says, go forth and gatekeep. Learn to gatekeep. Kusho mina. Mabe nibuza nibatshela ukuthi kwasho mina. Learn to gatekeep. These other people don't need to be involved in your business. Learn to gatekeep. If they want anything from you, they must have a very high level and standard of something they need to complete and accomplish before they enter. They must be tested before they can come in. Now, when they come in, they must have rules. This is how far you go. Again. Gatekeep. Gatekeep your ideas, especially my ideas. I think that's the chat for today. Nina bantwana enzayo emhlabeni enzobe nina ideas amakhulu amahle, trying to figure out how to participate and play a role kulezi zinto zama-technology and whatnot. Ningenzi mistake eyenziwa ithina nokhokho bethu of not being able to protect intellectual property and ideas. Don't give them things. Don't show them things. Sell them. You are sitting there on a motor that is worth $500,000 or 2 million for that matter. You do not know how the thing comes together. That's how gatekeeping works. You don't have to know. You don't have to know how a car is made when uzoyithenga, because you are not part of the community. Uyayiva ke ngoku. Uyayiva. Une-quantum lapho, lu-500,000, 800,000 lapho. You do not know how quantum is made, Toyota. And you don't need to. You can just go buy a quantum. Gatekeeping. So, if we want to build generational wealth and come out of poverty permanently, learn the art of gatekeeping. I'm not saying hate anyone, no. Gatekeep. Have this mentality that, well, this is for us, this is for black people. I'm a black person, so therefore, whatever I'm thinking, I'm developing, to pair. You know? So let's figure out how to make that happen. Let's figure out how to stop going to pitch ideas in front of other people who don't like us. What do I get? I know there's a lot of components that come into play here that I'm seemingly not addressing. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm specifically pinpointing this one of gatekeeping because it doesn't matter. We can talk about accumulating resources and banking and all those things and investment capital. We can talk about all those things, but it doesn't matter because you're going to fund someone who's not going to be able to protect their intellectual property. Hey. So yeah, ngicela ukuphuma kini sengikhulume ngicabanga ukuthi phela 2 hours. Bengaqondeli ukuthi ngikhuluma 2 hours, but this one is a very important thing. And this is about 2 hours because I spent quite a long time mulling over it, and thinking about it, coming across people's experiences and reading some articles about it. Hey. And you notice a pattern. The more you look, the more you notice a pattern. Oh, no, man. Abantu abamnyama bayadlala. Cela ukudlala too much. It's not ukuthi labantu laba basibamba inkunzi all the time. Ithina esihambisa izinto you know very well mawuzohamba emgaqweni waselokishini ukuthi I can't go through this part of Mamelodi ngiphethe cellphone yami esandleni. So uyayithatha uyifaka esikhwameni uyifaka ephaketheni uyifaka esokisini lapha ezansi where they are not typically gonna look for it. Uyifaka airplane mode uhambe. You know how to respond to that. But you are here sitting among thieves. You go into university, you learn all these things, and you come up with these brilliant ideas, and you just want to show and sell them to people who are going to take them and maximize them and make intergenerational wealth with it. And take scraps. So in that light, let's hope ukuthi umfana please call me gets a substantial amount for a settlement yakhe. It wasn't a great idea to sell it in the first place or give them without proper agreements on the Ilokuzan, how they were going to pay for it. He should have provided it as a service instead, because I think by now you would have probably made billions, if we are really being honest. You should not have sold it to them or allowed them to take this commie as their thing. But we learn. I hope others are learning from that particular case. Yeah, nibe no busuku obuhle. Sizobonana I think on Sunday. I think we have inkonzo ngesonto and sobonana. Let's see.